and welcome to Razz Reviews. This review is part of my Oscar special where I'm going to be reviewing this year's best film nominees. And today I'm going to be reviewing Hell or High Water. Hell or High Water is a Western crime story, and it's about two brothers played by Chris Pine and Ben Foster who go around Texas robbing branches of a bank while on the run from a Texas Ranger who's trying to catch them, played by Jeff Bridges. I didn't know much about this film going into it. I've only seen the trailer once, so I didn't really have any expectations. But I must say that I really enjoyed this movie and I found it very interesting. It's a very slow film, so it needs a lot of patience to get through it, but it was very enjoyable for me. So let's start by talking about the top 3 things that I liked about Hell or High Water. The number 3 thing that I liked about Hell or High Water is the cinematography. This film has the staple big wide open shots of the road and the desert, and it's beautiful too. But the exceptional thing about the cinematography in this film is how they filmed the car scenes and the chase scenes. Shooting a car scene can be very difficult because there's only a number of ways that you can shoot it. So a lot of times car scenes feel tedious and not that exciting. It's just 2 people in a car talking or 1 person driving. There's only a few angles that you can take, but that's it. However, in this film there's a lot of groundbreaking stuff, and the way they shoot car scenes and conversations inside cars is really interesting, and I found it very dynamic. There's some beautiful framing and also some very interesting camera work. I'm really excited to look behind the scenes and see how they actually shot it. And most of the film takes place on the road, so shooting it interestingly is very important, which they did. The number 2 thing I liked about this movie is the performances. The story of the film is very simple and it's very basic, and it's also very contained within these 4 characters that we are watching, which is the brothers and the ranger and his partner. So it was very easy for this film to be actually boring, but it wasn't, mostly due to the beautiful performances and the nuances that every single actor had on screen. Chris Pine was unrecognizable in this film. You don't feel like he's the Chris Pine you usually know. He did an amazing job. I really enjoyed watching him. And Jeff Bridges was Jeff Bridges. However, for me, the definite standout performance was by Ben Foster. Ben Foster carries the film for me. He steals the show. He steals every scene he's in. I loved watching him. He plays an unhinged man. He's so unpredictable and so intense, yet at the same time very endearing. I think that Ben Foster is an underrated actor and he does not get the props that he deserves. Even this year, I was really upset to find that he was not nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I think he definitely deserves this nomination and he should have got it, and he was totally snubbed. The chemistry between Chris Pine and Ben Foster was really amazing. Their brotherly love is there, and you also see some electricity between them because you can kind of tell that they've had a bad history because they are opposite characters. Chris Pine is this loving father, calm, collected person who has some darkness inside him, but he keeps it at bay, while Ben Foster is just a psychopath. He's unhinged, he lets himself loose, and he's super trigger happy. So you know that in the past these guys have clashed and have had their differences, and you see this conflict between them. However, beneath the conflict there is real brotherly love that they both sold it very well, and it really sold the whole film and makes the whole film feel authentic and real, and it makes you connect to them as characters who are technically doing a bad thing. Yet you still relate to them and you still root for them. So I thought that was a really incredible thing that both actors did, especially Ben Foster. Number 1 thing I liked about Hell or High Water is the layers. This film is not just about the plot, it's about all the layers that are underneath the plot. These layers start to unfold for you the moment you realize why they are robbing the banks. And I think it was a very interesting way of doing it. Because in the beginning you just think, oh, it's just a bunch of guys trying to get money. But later when you find out more about them and about their motivations, you start unraveling what this film is trying to say. And it's trying to say a lot of things about society, about our economic and classist systems, and I thought it was really interesting and very powerful. I also liked the concept of pushing characters to their limit and seeing what they become. It's a very interesting thing, and this element was played really well in the film, and it showed you different layers of the characters themselves and their backstory and their personality. So it's a very, very subtle film, but powerful film at the same time, and it's a very interesting combination. And now I'm going to talk about the top 3 things that I didn't like about Hell or High Water. Number 3, Jeff Bridges' accent. How do I say it? Jeff Bridges' the accent Jeff Bridges uses. So most of the time in the movie I couldn't understand what Jeff Bridges was saying. He had this like really heavy Texas country accent. I actually had to get subtitles to understand what he was saying. I mean, I get that it's a cool character element for the movie, but for me, I didn't understand what he was saying, so it kind of defeated the point. The number two thing I didn't like about the film was lack of development. So the film subtly unfolds elements to the relationships of the characters, especially between the two brothers and also between the two Texas Rangers that are trying to catch them. I really wanted to know more about their past. I wanted to know how their relationship got this way. Was there a certain conflict, or was it years of buildup of resentment, or what is it that made this relationship the way it is? Because the relationship was very emotionally rich, but I wanted to see where did that richness come from. But more than that, I wanted more of the relationship between Jeff Bridges and his partner, because I thought it was very interesting. They bicker and banter together a lot. He insults him all the time. And I know people in real life who do that a lot. And I wanted to see how they got to where they are and how their relationship built. And I want to see them get closer, just to have more development between the two of them. The number one thing I didn't like about Hell or High Water is the pacing. The film is a slow burn, like I said, and it takes a lot of patience to get through it. It kind of dips down a little bit too much for my personal taste, and I just wish it was a little bit more exciting. I wish there was a little bit more action, then it would have been completely enjoyable for me. But sometimes I felt myself going, okay, let's get through it. Something happened, please. I understand that we needed a lot of space for the characters to develop and for all the layers to unfold, which is nice, but sometimes the balance was a little off. I wish it was a little bit more tight than that. All in all, I think it's a very interesting film and a powerful film, and I really liked it. And there's definitely a lot of good performances there for anybody to enjoy. And so I'm going to give Hell or High Water an 8.5. Thanks for tuning in to one of my Oscar specials, and I can't wait to see what this film does at the Oscars this year. So, have you seen Hell or High Water? Did you like it? Have you even heard of it? If so, please let me know what you thought in the comment section. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to let me know what else you'd like me to review for you next. See ya!